So yes, we are doing our second project. Now in this project, we will learn a mathematical concept. It's called the Fibonacci Series, and we will learn how to implement it in Java. So first, let's create a new Java project and specify the project name as Fibonacci Series. Now don't change the other options, just click the Next button. So in this section, uncheck Create Module Info.java file, and then press the Finish button. So in this project, just right-click on the source folder and select the New and Class. Specify the package name as Fibonacci and class name as Fibonacci. And then select the checkbox to add to the main method. Now before coding, let's remember the Fibonacci sequence, review it, or learn it for the first time, depending upon where you're at. The Fibonacci sequence is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, and it goes and goes and goes and goes. The next number is found by adding up the two numbers before it, right? For example, the next number in the sequence above is 34 plus 55, and that equals 89. I know, you're way ahead of me. I just had to go over it. So let's start to code. First, we'll need to import the scanner class for getting the input from the user. And then we choose the import scanner class in java.util package to import the scanner class. And now we're looking at a message to enter the max sequence number by using the print method. And then we can declare a variable number with the int type, and then assign the nextInt method of the scanner class to this variable. So let's go ahead and declare three variables with int type. First up, fib previous with initial value as 0. Second up, Fibonacci with initial value set to 1. And last, sum with the initial value 0. Now the variable fib previous represents the first number of the Fibonacci series, and variable Fibonacci represents the second number of the Fibonacci series. Now we can start to write the for loop. So in the for loop, we declare variable I and initialize it, so its initial value is 1. Our test condition is I less than or equal to number, and it increments by 1. Then we use the print method to display the numbers of the Fibonacci series. So we use the variable fib previous for this. So on each iteration, we add first the number fib previous and then the second number Fibonacci and assign this sum to a variable sum. And then we just assign the second number Fibonacci to the first number fib previous. And we assign the sum of the last two numbers to the second number Fibonacci. Okay, so let's run the code. And let's enter 10 for max sequence. And you'll see the first 10 numbers of the Fibonacci series in the console. So now let's debug the code. Debugging allows us to run a program interactively while watching the source code and the variables during the execution. So let's put a breakpoint ahead of the print method line in the for loop. Now, in order to define a breakpoint in our source code, right-click on the left margin and select Toggle Breakpoint. So we can also double-click on this position for the same operation. It's up to you. Now, in order to debug our application, we can use the debug button in the Eclipse toolbar. So let's go ahead and click that debug button. And let's enter 10 for max sequence. So Eclipse asks us if we want to switch to the debug perspective. So let's click Switch in the dialog window. And see how Eclipse provides debug buttons for controlling the execution of the program? So we have some shortcut keys to step up our code. And let's check the values of the variables in the debug perspective. So we click the Step Over button and display the values of the variables in the variable section. Now, at first, the fib previous is 0. Fibonacci is 1, and the sum is 0. So why don't we click the Step Over button again? No change. Let's click the button again. Variable sum is 1. So we'll click the button again. Variable fib previous is 1. And click the button now 4 times. Variable sum is 2. So let's click the button again. The variable Fibonacci is 2. Let's click the button 3 times. Sum is 3. And click the button again. Variable fib previous is 2. And let's click the button again. Variable Fibonacci is 3. And on it goes just like that. So let's click the Resume button to resume the execution of the program code until it reaches the next breakpoint. And let's click on this button until execution of the program finishes. And now you can see the Fibonacci series in the console. So I think you understand how to debug your code in Eclipse by doing this. It's pretty fun, huh? You can go back and do it again if you like it that much.